right, guys, let's finish the chapter. Sorry about that. I just had a call I had to take. So we had just left off, right? And Catherine was telling us about her rules. And the one that she had set for herself was sometimes you have to work with what you've got. I take David's elbow to hurry him. Let's go past the fence and talk to those men. A little spring mud remained under the pine trees near the fence. Only a month ago, there were puddles everywhere when Mrs. Bowman called me over to her house to tell me that she had sold to a woman with a young 12-year-old daughter. I knew you'd be pleased, she said. I told the realtor I have a girl just that age living next door, and maybe they could be friends. A few weeks later, I had stood on my porch, waving, as Mrs. Bowman's son drove her away to her new apartment attached to his house. It feels wrong that Mrs. Bowman is no longer living there, but her porch looks empty without her sitting on her rocking chair. But I'm tingling with hope, too. I've always wanted a friend in my neighborhood, and a next-door friend would be best of all. Usually in the summer, I do lots of things myself because my best friend, Melissa, spends the whole vacation in California with her dad. This year will be different, though. The girl next door and I can do all my favorite summer things together, like swimming at the pond, watching TV, and riding bikes. We could even send midnight messages to each other through our windows using our flashlights and Morse code, like next-door friends do in books. And the best part? David won't have to come inside because Mom won't have to drive me and pick me up. I bite my teeth together, fighting the memory of my last sleepover at Melissa's. When Mom came to pick me up, David raced around Melissa's kitchen, opening the doors, looking for their cellar. Even when Mom kept telling him that this was a trailer and trailers don't have cellars. Real friends understand, Mom had said on the ride home. But here's what I understand. Sometimes everyone gets invited to things except us, and it's because of David. Walking toward the van, I study the moving men. One has a blotchy face and looks all business. The younger one wears a half smile and a dirty t-shirt and jeans. T-shirt man seems friendlier. Remember the rule, I whisper, my hand pushing David's back to hurry him. If someone says hi, you say hi back. Down the hallway, down the walkway. They're outside, right? Down the walkway, I run through conversations, possibilities in my head. But one rule should be enough. There's only one question that I need to ask, and then I can take David right to the car. Hi, I call, reaching the corner of the fence. David flickers his fingers up and down like he's playing the piano. T-shirt man runs around. Do you know when the family is coming? I ask. Is it today? He looks to the other man in the van. When are the Peters coming? If someone says hi, you say hi back, David yells. That's the rule. Both men stare past me with a familiar look. The wrinkled forehead that means, what's wrong with that kid? I grab David's hand to stop his fingers. They're coming about 5 o'clock, the red-faced man says. That's what she said anyways. 5 o'clock! David twists my arm. My wrist kills from being curled backwards. I grip my toes into my sneakers to hide the pain. Thanks. I pretend to see my watch. Wow, look at the time. Sorry, gotta go. Chasing David to the car, I hear heavy footsteps on the man's metal ramp behind me. Thunk, thunk. David covers his ears with his hands. It's 5 o'clock. Let's go to the video store. My own hands squeeze into fists. Sometimes I wish someone would invent a pill so David would wake up one morning without autism, like someone waking up from a long coma, and say, "Geez, Catherine, where have I been?" And he'd be a regular brother like Melissa has, a brother who'd give back as much as he took, who I could joke with, even fight with, someone I could yell at and he'd yell back. We'd keep going and going until we both yelled ourselves out. But there's no pill. And our quarrels fray instead of not, always ending in him crying and me sorry for hurting him over something that he can't help. Here's another rule. I open the car door. If you want to get away from someone, you can check your watch and say, "Sorry, gotta go." It doesn't always work, but sometimes it does. "Sorry, gotta go?" David asks, climbing into the car. That's right. I'll add it to your list of rules. The men carry a mattress, still in plastic, up the walkway next door. Someday, soon, I'm going to take a plate of cookies up those steps and ring that doorbell. And if the girl next door doesn't have a flashlight, I'll buy her one that turns on and off easily. Mom says I have to deal with what is and not get my hopes up. But how else can hopes go but up? "Wear your seatbelt in the car," David states. "That's a rule." You're right. I click the seatbelt across me and open my sketchbook to the back pages. That's where I keep all the rules that I'm teaching David. So if someday he'll wake up a regular brother, wish doesn't ever come true, at least he'll know how the world works, and I won't have to keep explaining things to him over and over and over again. Some of the rules in my collection are easy and always. Say, "Excuse me," after you burp. Don't stand in front of the TV when other people are watching it. Flush the toilet when you're done. But others are more complicated, and there's sometimes rules, not always rules. You can yell on the playground, but not during dinner. A boy can take off his shirt to swim, but not his shorts. It's fine to hug Mom, but not the clerk at the video store. And a few are more like hints than rules, but they matter just as much. Sometimes people don't answer because they didn't hear you, and other times it's because they don't want to hear you. Most kids don't even consider these rules. Sometime when they were little, their mom and dad must have explained it all, but I don't remember my mom or dad doing it. It seems I've always just known these things. Not David, though. He needs to be taught every little thing. Everything from the fact that a peach is not a funny-looking apple to how having long hair doesn't make someone a girl. I add to the list. If you want to get away from someone, check your watch and say, "Sorry, gotta go." "It's Mom," David yells. "Let's go to the video store." She's on the porch, locking the front door. I'll get in trouble if Mom finds out. I let him think the wrong thing. "I'm depending on you, Catherine," she'll say. "How will he learn to be independent if everyone lets him behave and speak the wrong way?" "You're going to occupational therapy," I tell David. "At the clinic." He frowns. "Let's go to the video store." David may not have the "sorry, gotta go" rule down, but he has this rule perfect. If you say something over and over and over, maybe they'll give in to shut you up. "You're going to OT," I say. Maybe, maybe was all it takes. David twists toward me, far as his seatbelt allows, with his eyes flashing. I cover his mouth with my hand so the movers don't hear him scream. All right, that was the end of chapter 1. So look at the questions attached to the bottom of the post, and I will post an assignment page, and you can answer the reflection question. And if you want to do the at your own home activity, you can post a picture.